with you to make sure you good, because if you good, then I'm good, and da-da-da-da. Which I totally understand, because I would do the same thing.
That's not my voice.
That's my impersonation of his voice. Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Oh my gosh, it's been a long 2 months, but we're back again with some new content and a whole new conversation, because this is the COVID Chronicles. So we had COVID. One got to stay home, one got to go to the hospital. You guess which one? Who is it? Which one? Which one were you? Which one was I? Which one
we were both at one point.
But
I got to come home.
Yeah, he got released. I got to stay. So let's talk about it. So you go first, because yours wasn't as eventful as mine, but it was eventful.
Well, I wanted you to go first, but
okay,
I'll go first because yours gonna take long.
It ain't gonna be long. You're gonna get the synopsis. Clippings.
Only reason I wanted to go first was because I say I contracted it from her, from taking care of her. So I'll let her tell her story, but I have to tell part of her story to tell my story. So the boys are playing basketball. They were in the middle of their spring season, and we were going to the games, social distancing, limited crowds, fever up on entry, masks, etc., etc. She set up away from everybody, and she said, she was feeling kind of tired. I was like, okay, she wasn't feeling too well. That was on Friday. Fast forward, I make her go get tested, and lo and behold, positive test comes back. They send her to the ER. Okay, sorry, she's supposed to be telling her story, so I'm gonna let her tell her story.
Well, since we started my story, we can go ahead and tell my story.
No, because
our story is intertwined. You're right. Mm-hmm. So, okay, let me start it off. So basically, so we come back home, and I go straight to bed. I think you gave me some Tylenol or something. But anyway, I go to bed. Wake up on Saturday, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing jack. I lay down, and I slept on and off all day Saturday. That's when my fever started. And I was like, maybe. And I was like, if I feel bad tomorrow, I'll go. So, felt bad on Sunday.
We went to urgent care or care now.
That's
what but you said you went to the ER. That's not.
Oh.
We went to care now first.
Sorry. Let's get it.
Positive test. Then they sent her to the ER.
Because I had little pneumonias.
Yeah, x-rays showed, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So, the doctor's like, oh my gosh, it's COVID pneumonia, it's a different type of thing. So go to the ER, let them, scan you or whatnot, and we'll go from there. So I was like, all right, cool. We get to the ER, which was, the ER was really super scary to go to during the COVID season, because he couldn't go with me. And, you are back there all alone. You have to wait alone. Outside in this little hallway. Like I was literally in a breezeway outside of the ER. So I was like, okay. So I'm just sitting here, everybody walking in, and I'm just sitting out there with my little mask on, like waiting. So they called me to the back, and IVs, all that good stuff, and do CT. It was like, okay, yep, confirmed COVID pneumonia. Here's a Z-Pack. Take the Z-Pack. Y'all go home. If your breathing change, if you end up coughing a little bit more than usual, like if you start feeling worse than worse, then come back and see us. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm good. Like, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. So, I found out today that I have COVID. So, yay. I started off Friday with just kind of some fatigue. Pretty much all the previous week I had fatigue and was just kind of feeling run down. Some nasal drainage, and
things like that. But Friday was the first day, like, I had to reach for my inhaler because I kind of felt tight in the chest. But I went throughout the day, normally. And by the time I got home, I was kind of feeling dizzy and had some body aches and chills. So for me to actually have chills and want to turn on a heater and cuddle up and sleep in like a hoodies and sweatpants, that was a lot for me. And I knew something was kind of off. So this morning, I woke up and my body was just hurting. So I was like, okay, well, let me go get tested. Let me go see what's the deal. Because if it's not COVID, it's probably the flu. So went and got tested, and they did the rapid test, and almost immediately it came back positive. We did a chest X-ray, and I already have lung issues anyway, so they were a little concerned about COVID pneumonia, as well as my interstitial lung disease. So went to the ER from there and got a CT, which confirmed my interstitial lung disease is still there. Everything is still blocked off, and it's still as bad as it was in 2013. Um, but they saw a little bit of pneumonia, so um, they discharged me, gave me some medication to take at home, ibuprofen and Tylenol, Motrin Tylenol regimen for the body aches, and I got a quarantine. So I get to hang out and sit in the house and rest and build my body back up. But one thing the doctor did say that I was doing well and probably could contribute to how well I am doing is the fact that I make sure I take my supplements. So vitamin D's, vitamin C, vitamin zinc, magnesiums, all that. He's like, that is good to protect yourself. So I am doing something right. Didn't prevent me from getting this virus, but I am blessed. I'm not as bad off as others are. I'm going to continue to pray, continue to do what I need to do, stay away from my kids, which is the hardest part because they are having withdrawals. And last time I saw them was Friday, so um, yeah, they're going through it, and so am I. So I'm sitting outside in my backyard because I cannot stay in that house, and I was actually feeling a little nauseous sitting in my room and having like hot flashes. So I came outside, started twisting my hair again. Can't tell, but yeah. So here we are. Okay, so today is day 5 since the onset of symptoms. Yep, tired. You can see tired all in my face. Today I'm having a little trouble walking because kind of short of breath, but I need to work out my lungs. So I walked this morning, um, probably about 10 minutes around the backyard, and ended up sleeping the rest of the day because I was exhausted. So I'm back out here this evening, about to walk again. Um, I walked a little bit down the fence line and then back to this chair, taking some breaks in between. So that's where I am. So yeah, yay. So day 6 and feeling a little bit better today. Um, Breathing a little bit better today. Yesterday was difficult, but today much better. So yeah.
He trying to take care of me, and I'm like, dude, don't you want to go to another room, like be off to yourself? He was like, no, I need to be with you to make sure you good, because if you good, then I'm good, and da da da. Which I totally understand because I would did the same thing with him.
That's not my voice, by the way.
That's my impersonation of his voice. He started feeling bad, and I was like, man, I think you got it too. And he's like, nah, I ain't got it. I was like, you got it too. So turns out he in well, that was after I went to the hospital though, wasn't it?
And I started getting a low grade fever and with like a little itchy throat um, before you went to the hospital.
Yeah. Okay. So
But
that's still in that little week.
yeah,
But okay, so that was Monday through Wednesday. Then that Thursday is when I was like, okay, my chest started feeling heavy, like my breathing kind of slowed a little bit, and it felt like the air was a little bit thicker. And normally my routine since I had been off of COVID was I get up in the morning, I'll go out, walk outside to the backyard, sit in my chair, meditate, and hang out for about an hour, and then I would come back in the house. So that particular morning, he's asleep in the chair. So I get up, go to walk outside. I was like, I get a third other way there, and I'm like, okay, like this is a little bit more difficult. But me being the strong individual that I am, I would not be defeated. So I continue to go outside. And by the time I get out there, I was like, oh, shoot, maybe this was a bad idea. So I sit there and I was like, all the time I'm thinking, how am I going to get back in the house? All the kids are upstairs asleep. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. So the neighborhood is quiet. I don't want to be out here screaming. I don't need help, but I need help. And I was like, you know what? If I can make it from this chair to the back door, there's another chair and I can sit there. So I stood up, I was wobbly, and I sat back down. And actually, I fell back down. And I was like, okay, let's give it a little bit more time. So I made it, I got up again, made it to the chair. I was like, okay, sat there for a little bit. I was like, all right, we're gonna go again. Got up, opened the door. I made it to right inside the house, and through the door is our kitchen table. I made it to the kitchen table, so I sat right there. Then took a few more steps, made it to the living room, sat down again. Then at that point, I was like, okay, I gotta walk down the hallway and get to my room and then get to my bed. And I was like, shoot. So I was like, okay, we just gonna go for it. So I ran. Well, I didn't run, but it felt like I ran to the room. And as soon as I made it to the bed, I just fell on the bed. He was like, what did you do? And I was like, nothing. I was like, I ain't have no phone. I couldn't call nobody. So I told him, and he was like, don't do that again.
Okay, so this is day 7. Um, I still have to take Tylenol and ibuprofen, rotate that to keep my temperature down. And um, it's a little difficult to walk around. I was feeling great this morning, but um, so I walked around the room a little bit and then I went outside for a little while. But I got spooked by a bird and thought he was about to poop on me because I sat under the tree. So I moved a little bit too fast and kind of wore myself out. So I just woke up from a 3 hour nap. So that's pretty much how it goes. If I get a little too winded, I end up sleeping for a few hours. So yeah. So I'm supposed to go back to work next Tuesday. Today is Thursday. And I don't know how that's going to work if I can't walk from my bedroom to my bathroom or my bedroom to the back of the house in less than 5 minutes. So that's going to be interesting. Um, yeah, it's going to be fun. They're leaving for Summit, and I'm stuck here at home. Go solar! Woo!
Like, okay. So Friday, hung out in the room, stayed there. Uh, Saturday, Friday or Saturday, we're at a week at this point. I started noticing my breathing. The air was getting a little bit thicker, and it was getting a little bit harder to breathe. And it felt like when I went to sleep, I was a little bit deeper in sleep than normal. And I was like, okay, hey, don't you want to run to the store and get me a pulse ox? Just go give me one of them so I can just check it. And
That's for those that don't know. That's the little thing that you put on your finger. Cause not everybody know what that is.
Okay.
It's like the little monitor they put on your finger that tells your oxygen blood saturation, and some of them got your pulse and all this other stuff. But
yeah,
that.
Like if you ever seen somebody in the hospital and they have a little thing with the little red light on their hand, that's what they doing. And
that's supposed to be between 96 and 100.
Yeah, anything below
Normal.
95 is cause for concern. So mine was running 96, which isn't unusual because I do have a lung disease. So 96, 95, 96, okay, when I'm sick, that's kind of normal. But I started noticing my fingertips were pale, and I was like, that's different. Then my hands just went totally pale white. I'm like, okay, I'm light skinned, but I ain't that light skinned. Like, why does my
Man, you was in the hospital at that point.
No, it was here. No. And I didn't tell him that. Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, okay, let me just keep watch. And I try not to tell him some things so he doesn't worry, because he tends to worry a lot, and then he hovers. And I love the hovering, but sometimes I don't like the hovering until there's a reason for you to hover. But I love you. So looked at that, and then so by Saturday night, it was like 93 ish. But when I was like, okay, I'll keep checking on it through the night. So I'm telling him, I was like, okay, my O2 sats are dropping. If it drops some more, we're gonna go to the hospital tomorrow. Like, just keep checking on me through the night. So get up that morning, my O2 sats had dropped to, was it like 90, 88, 90. So I was like, okay, time to go.
No, you left out something very important.
What?
You decided to get up and take a shower.
I didn't make it there yet. I'm just waking up on Sunday morning.
No, that wasn't when you said it's time to go. You said it's time to go after you took your shower and you couldn't.
So
couldn't take a shower.
So in my mind, it was time to go, and I was like, what I'm not gonna do is go up in this hospital and not have had a good shower before I get there. So I go and I turn the water on in the shower, and I'm like, man, I'm starting to get dizzy. So I turned the water on. I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit on the bench in the shower. And I just sat there, and I was like, okay, I can't even freaking breathe in the shower. Like, it wasn't even that much. The water wasn't even that hot. Like, just a little bit of steam that was inside the shower, and all that hot air being compressed in there just completely took my breath away. Like, I could not breathe at all. So I'm like calling him. I was like, babe. And he was like, are you calling me? And I was like, yes, I need help. I need you to help me. And so I was like, watch me, help me out the shower, dry me off, put my clothes on. I was like, okay, we gotta go. And he was like, and that's, I think, when he knew that it was bad. So you can go from there.
You ain't even halfway through your story.
I'm not. That's the crazy part.
Okay. So she calls me to the shower, and basically she's, crying, getting out of the shower, and you were crying. And so at this point, I'm like, yeah, we finna go, like, right now. She couldn't walk without assistance. She couldn't put on no clothes without assistance. She couldn't get up out the bed. She couldn't stand up without assistance. None of that stuff. So we go to the get dressed out at the hospital, and of course, I'm sure they go admit her at this point. But we get there, we go in, we tell them, that hey, she was just there last week. Dot dot dot. Um, I go to the parking lot and sit. I got my computer and I'm working. So it had to be a weekday. Or
No,
was
it's
it?
a
No,
Sunday.
no. Okay, never mind. It wasn't. I wasn't working. That must have been the first time. So I sat out in the parking lot for maybe about an hour, and she's like, "Yeah, they're gonna admit me." I'm like, "Okay." I still sit there for a while, and
Okay, so here is day 8, and here I am in the hospital. So I was having trouble breathing the past couple of days. Um, so my pulse ox got down to 86. I was having trouble breathing and walking. Um, so when I woke up this morning and I checked my pulse ox, when I woke up, it was 86 today. And I had Howard bring me to the hospital, and here we are. So I've gotten IV steroids, IV steroids. I got some fluids because I was dehydrated. Um, what else? I'm getting some more steroids right now, and hopefully this one will help with my breathing. Because when I tell you, it was really, really difficult to get out of my bed and just walk the 10 steps just to go to the bathroom. Um, when we, when Howard, when Howard took me to the car, like that was the longest freaking walk, and I was so freaking exhausted. So yeah, so hospital stay for me and some oxygen, and my set right now is about 92. So that's better. It's improving. So far this week, I've lost like about 15 pounds, which is ridiculous. But that comes with not really wanting to eat or drink anything, and because you just feel bad and you want to sleep and give your body time to heal and rest. So, uh, yeah. So that's my day 8. This is where we are. And I don't know, like, it always bothers me that my hair looks a hot mess. My hair looks a hot mess every time I go into the hospital, but, such is life. Oh well. Hope y'all are having a great day, and we'll talk to you another time. Bye.
um, I come home. I wasn't feeling too bad. I had a low grade fever off and on like 99, and then it'll drop back down. I started taking Tylenol, ibuprofen every 4 hours, whatever, and uh, I was start getting what felt like a tension headache, kind of in my neck, like back of my neck or whatever, kind of up here, and still taking my meds and whatnot. And I told her that if I'm not, if my fever spikes or doesn't stay down or whatever, I'm gonna go, get my test because I'm pretty sure I've been taking care of her for a week at home. I think it's a 99.9% chance I got it, even though I'm sleeping on the other side of the room, even though I'm wearing my mask in the room or she wearing her mask in the room, but same air being circulated, same, whatever. So um, I go get tested. Turns out I'm, positive, and I wasn't feeling too bad at the time, but I don't know if it was psychological or it was just the incubation period or whatever. So I get home, um, within maybe 2 days, I started feeling worse. All the while she's admitted to the hospital. Um, I never really had any breathing issues. It was more so fever, and I started getting congestion. So I'm, kind of almost felt like when I would have bronchitis sometimes, or just a bad cold. So I'm, coughing up mucus and all this stuff, and it seems to be not getting any worse, but not necessarily getting any. any better. Um, but how much time passed? A week,
Yeah.
maybe another week passed, and um, same thing with me, same routine. Fever would get, at one point I think it got up to like 101 or something like that, and all I did was sleep. I slept a lot. Um, didn't have much energy to do anything, but I never really had any breathing. Still didn't have really any breathing issues. So I'm like, okay, if my fever gets back up, I'll go to the hospital because she wanted me to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, if it gets back up, if it spikes, I'll go. So I think it got up to like 102. That morning I took it, it was at 102. I was like, okay. So I said, I'll go in the morning. I drug myself out the bed or out the chair because even though she was gone, um, I disinfected the bed, changed the linens, washed it out, did all this stuff. I still didn't sleep in the bed. Just kind of felt better sleeping semi-upright or sleeping upright, I guess, in the chair. So I dragged myself to the hospital. Like, if I go, I'm gonna go early in the morning. It's not gonna be much traffic on the road. And that morning, it actually happened to be cool outside. It was about 6 o'clock. I think it was a Sunday morning. So I drive to the hospital slowly because I wasn't feeling the best. Got there, went through the process, told them what was going on, and they didn't even give me an IV. They hooked me up, to the sats and blood pressure and all that stuff. Sat there and waited. Um, Long story short, they was like, "Hey, if you're not having any trouble breathing, if you want to, if you're not having any other symptoms, just basically keep taking your Tylenol and your Motrin, ibuprofen or whatever. And if your fever is being controlled, then it just has to run its course." Long story short, they didn't even give me an antibiotic. I was expecting to get what she got, the Z-Pack or whatever. None of that. They didn't give me. I was having some weird. I guess you can describe it as nausea, but like kind of abdominal quirkiness. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It felt like I was full, or it felt like, I don't know. It's really hard to describe. But they gave me some Zofran. Is it called Zofran? Yeah. That
You had some nausea real bad too.
Yeah, I didn't vomit, but they gave me that Zofran. They gave me some at the hospital, and then they gave me a prescription. This a sublingual tablet dissolve or whatever. So they sent me home. My fever never really spiked much again, but I just felt bad. My body, it didn't feel like the flu. My body didn't feel bad at all. I just had this I was sleeping with like cold towels on the back of my neck, and I switched it to my head. Like that was like a tension, just pain back here with this fever and up here. Um, so, so yeah, that was really it from my perspective. Low energy, sleeping all day, tension, pain, spiking fever up and down, but never really any breathing issues. So I told her, I texted her. I didn't want to call her. I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way up to where you are." I didn't get anything back. And then I was like, "Hey, I'm here. They're doing this, still nothing." I was like, "Okay, she probably still asleep."
I was sleep.
And I get discharged, or I guess I never really got admitted. Well, I guess I did. It was, but I wasn't at the hospital for more than maybe an hour.
Admission, you just hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. It's, I saw the nurse, I saw the doctor, but and I will say kudos to Medical City Plano. They, I mean, I don't know if it was because COVID or whatever, but I've never been to an ER where I was within, like, I never really got I went to put my butt in the chair in the breezeway, and before I could sit down, they called me in.
The breezeway.
I was into the back in 2 minutes. Somebody came and hooked me up and did all this other stuff within 10 minutes. And like I've never been to an ER where things moved that quickly. Like I say, I'll charge it to COVID because I don't think once, if it's next year this time, I don't think an ER visit would be that quick unless you're bleeding from somewhere you shouldn't be bleeding from.
I've been to the ERs here on a few occasions, and yeah, they move that fast.
Okay,
They're not slow. It's get you in there, see what's wrong with you, get you admitted, or get you out of there, fairly quickly. And they try to do it within an hour or two. Sometimes it's less than that, depending on what you came in there for. But so
so
he's
kudos to them.
kudos to them because
I,
they
I
did take
basically
good
get
care
there,
of me.
leave, come home, and I'm back at home before she was like, "You was up here?"
Yeah.
Like, yep. I
It's
was
like,
up there,
okay.
then left and came back home. But um,
So while he's doing this at home, I'm in the hospital and
hooked up.
hooked up. And so my sats got down to, I think the lowest was 85. 85 to 88 was like the lowest. So they whisked me off into the ICU, and so I'm like, oh Lord, I'm going to this cold ICU. When I tell when I tell you when I got in that room, y'all should have seen my face. Like they have this air conditioning unit that's personalized just for each room in the COVID ward, right? So hold on. So if you've ever seen ductwork, the silver ductwork that's inside a home or building, so it's that little silver little tube.
It's like a big dryer vent.
Yeah, going out the window, and then this big machine, and then it's keeping the room cool and actually circulating the air back outside. So I'm sitting here like, what the heck is this? And then it's loud. So they had it on what he would call turbine when I walk in there. So the room is nice and cool. Thank you. I love it. But at this point, I'm still kind of chilly. So I'm like, can you turn this down? And maybe the noise will go down too, because this is really loud and I'm never going to go to bed. Um, so they turned that down, and I'm pretty much sitting there all night or whatever. They hooked me up to my IVs and get my oxygen going.
Okay, so here is day 8, and here I am in the hospital. So I was having trouble breathing the past couple of days. Um, so my pulse ox got down to 86. I was having trouble breathing and walking. Um, so when I woke up this morning and I checked my pulse ox, when I woke up, it was 86 today. And I had Howard bring me to the hospital, and here we are. So I've gotten IV steroids, IV steroids. I got some fluids because I was dehydrated. Um, what else? I'm getting some more steroids right now, and hopefully this one will help with my breathing. Because when I tell you, it was really, really difficult to get out of my bed and just walk the 10 steps just to go to the bathroom. Um, when we, when Howard, when Howard took me to the car, like that was the longest freaking walk, and I was so freaking exhausted. So yeah, so hospital stay for me and some oxygen, and my set right now is about 90. It's 92. So that's better. It's improving. So far this week, I've lost like about 15 pounds, which is ridiculous. But that comes with not really wanting to eat or drink anything, and because you just feel bad and you want to sleep and give your body time to heal and rest. So, uh, yeah. So that's my day 8. This is where we are. And I don't know, like, it always bothers me that my hair looks a hot mess. My hair looks a hot mess every time I go into the hospital, but, such is life. Oh well. Hope y'all are having a great day. And we'll talk to you another time. Bye.
The following day is when all the doctors come and they're like, okay, we're going to turn your oxygen up. We're going to turn your oxygen up. So they keep turning it up periodically through that day. And then the next day, they're like, okay, we're going to put you on something else, higher flow uh, tube and machine. And I was like, oh shit, like what's going on? Uh-oh, I cussed. But like, what's going on? Like, is this something I need to know? Like, y'all taking this blood? Like, what does my blood work say? Can somebody tell me something? And they were like, everything is still the same, but your oxygen levels aren't improving. So we're going to keep giving you oxygen so we can get those numbers up. Well, I can't go to the bathroom by myself. Uh, so, okay, got to have a little bit of help with that. But every time I stood up, what happened with my oxygen levels? They went down. So I hurry up and get to the toilet and I sit down so my levels can go back up. Then I hurry up and get back to the bed. So there was a lot of ding ding dings, and I got in trouble from a few nurses, but they knew I was a strong willed individual, and they just kept checking on me and made sure I was safe and did everything I wanted to do safely. Um, but all in all, I had to get the little COVID cocktails, the injections into my stomach to prevent blood clots because I couldn't really move around a lot. And it wasn't until like the seventh day that I was in the hospital that I was able to actually stand and move around the room, um, and get out of the bed, and sit in the chair and things like that. By day 8, they started weaning me off, the oxygen kind of dropping it lower and lower. I did have some moments where they had to increase it again. Um, but by that night, they were like, okay, we're going to take you off and see how you do the following day. So that was day 9. I did well. My levels didn't drop. Day 10, is when they were like, okay, you got some type of infection. Well, in between that time, they said I had an infection in my heart. They would send you down for a scope, what they call a TEE, and went down for that and met a nice little cardiologist who was fairly cool. So telling him all my backstory, he was like, what? Nah, okay. So they go and do the scope. And so when I wake up, he was like, bro, like you were lying. I was like, dude, why would I lie to you? And he was like, wow, I've never seen that before. That's so we got to talking about that. And apparently I'm a fascinating individual with my physical makeup on the inside. Okay. I knew I was all right, I knew I was involved. But anyway, so on the inside. It's the inside that counts. But he looked at everything looks great. So I go back upstairs. By this time they moved me to a regular room with less supervision. And I'm hanging out in that room, and here comes the pulmonologist, and he starts talking about how blessed I am, and he was just amazed at how I'm functioning and I do everything normal without having to have an oxygen tank all the time. And you are so blessed, is what he said. You are so blessed. And I was like, you know what? I am blessed. Thank you so much. I'm blessed and highly favored. Thank you, Jesus. I will say at that moment, that's when it kind of all hit because things went pretty fast, even though I was sleeping off and on. And it had been, what, by that point, like 21 days, 20 days or so since I had the diagnosis of COVID. And yeah, things went pretty fast. And that's when I was like, okay, wow. Like, ugh, that was kind of scary. So, you start giving all praises and all that good stuff. But uh, I had to have another procedure before I got to come home, which was putting a midline into my arm. So that's a line that goes through an artery in your arm all the way to your heart. And I got that because I got to go home with some syringes of antibiotics and steroids and things to be injected into this line. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You ain't tell me all this. I didn't know I had to go home and do work too.
Hey,
So
you get to go home. Congratulations. Here we go put this thing in your arm, and you gonna have to, or somebody at your house
like me,
is gonna have to inject medicine
yeah,
every day at the same
every
time
day,
for 10+ days.
at the same time of day, every day, over the course of 5 to 30 minutes, depending on the medication that they give you. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, I do this to other people, but they don't do that to me. It's like, who am I gonna get? But thank goodness I have a daughter who wants to be a nurse, and I have another daughter who wants to be a doctor, and I have this guy who loves to help with all the things.
I don't want to be mad.
Because you are somebody. You is important. Uh, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was just a really a shock because this was my first time having to personally be on the receiving side of home health. So having a home health nurse come to the house and do the assessment and all that stuff, and then give instructions on how to a tutorial on how to do these injections and making sure that the line is clean and all this other stuff so I don't get an infection, because if I don't do it right, then I can infect my heart and that ain't gonna be a good thing. Oh, and by the way, don't get it wet because you'll turn into a gremlin. So I was like, okay. So my eyes are this big the whole time, like what? What? Okay, all right, all right.
No
So
eating after midnight.
right.
No sunlight.
I like the sun. If I don't have no sun, I turn pale.
Those of y'all that have seen Gremlins know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. But so that was that, and so I had to do that for an additional 10 days after my discharge, or 12 days after my discharge. Um, and then the home health nurse comes over, takes the line out of my arm as I'm laying on the couch, and then they whisk away and ride away into the sunset. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna recover. So I got me a walker so I can start walking around the house, because standing up and walking, sometimes I got dizzy, sometimes I got short of breath and needed to sit down, and there was nowhere to sit. So I had my little walker, and I would sit on that with a little seat on the walker. Um, I took it to my kids' 707 games. I took it when I went back to work. Like I took it in the Target. If I tried to go to Target, that was my exercise too. Because if I go shop, it motivated me to get back to where I needed to be. Yep. So after that, while I was sitting at home, I did spend a lot of money, and he was looking at me like that because I bought furniture. Amazon was on the porch every single day. And got all kind of random things. And so I don't want to say it was definitely an experience. I want to say thank you to all our friends.
Yes, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah, because our friends showed up and showed out. They really did take care of my family while I was down.
How long were you in the hospital?
I was only in the hospital like 10 days, 12 days.
No, it was longer than 10 days for sure.
12 days? It was probably like 2 weeks. I think it was 10 or 12 days.
Yeah, something like that.
It seems super long because we have never been apart for more than a couple of days. Yeah, maybe 4. I think maybe 4 at the most.
Yeah, so it was a lot, and then I was down. Well, yeah. I didn't tell anybody. That's what you got to find out now. Like I didn't tell anybody I was tested positive because I wanted all the energy and the prayers and et cetera to go to her. I didn't want nobody worried. I didn't want nobody worried about me, so I didn't tell anybody. I think the only people I really told was my boss
and your parents and like a couple of close friends.
So I didn't tell anybody. So, but during that time, I was down. Like I couldn't do too much. So our friends and my boss, And so they like people were, sending food, um, gift cards, um, different stuff. Even delivering food.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because and the reason they were like, hey, because we got a big family, we got a large blended family, so like, hey, we're gonna do that way. You don't have to do too much. Da 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 da. Since Sharita's in the hospital, I guess they don't think I can cook. They don't think I do much. They don't
First
know.
of all,
They don't know. I can hold it down.
First of
but
all,
but I
you
mean.
couldn't.
But no, I couldn't. But they didn't know that.
So they didn't know. So
They
what
were
happened
doing for us
was,
because Sharita was out
yeah.
and we got
So
a big family.
I posted on the Facebook.
Oh yeah,
I posted.
You know what? Yes,
I posted on the
that's
Facebook,
what it was.
and I was like, "Hey, y'all, I done got the Rona."
That's what it was.
I don't know how this happened because you do all the things, and so I don't know how this happened, but I done got the Rona, and if y'all just happen to want to drop off a snack or two for the kids and my husband, I appreciate it. And I was like, just hit him up. You know who he is. If you don't know who he is, you can look at my page and find out who he is.
And the started coming out the woodworks. Well,
Yes.
they were blessings. I'm not complaining at all.
But he was just shocked. I was really shocked because I didn't know that many people actually paid attention and cared that much. Yeah, I just didn't think it would be that many people and it'd be overwhelming, the response that we got. But it was, and it was such a blessing to the point that they had so much food in the refrigerator. They was like, man, can people quit bringing stuff? And I was like, well, y'all just eat, be blessed, put it in the freezer if you don't need it. You need it right now because you will, because they eat.
Yes,
they
eat. The other time we talked about this already. Because the other time it was like, can I get seconds? Or can I, like, dude, like, or a lady, or girl, like, save some for tomorrow.
Like, ain't nobody gonna eat it up.
And then when I wake up in the morning, somebody done got up in the middle of the night and waxed it off. Pause. Finished it. Finished the food.
Finish him.
And the dirty dish sitting on the counter.
Yeah. So.
Which we got a rule: if you empty the dish, you wash the dish. But they in the middle. That's how you know it's in the middle of the night because they just put it on the counter because they don't want to wash it.
So they don't want to make noise. Because he got the hearing of an elephant. No, what elephant?
Memory.
Oh. Who hear well? Owls?
I don't know.
Deers? Got the hearing of a deer. They're deer. But anyway, so that is our COVID story.
Hold on, one more thing.
Oh, one more thing. Okay.
So when she come home.
Oh.
What?
Oh, come on, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
I don't think we're about to talk about the same thing.
Okay.
But when she come home, she was like the first couple hours, she was trying to get reacclimated. They're doing everything, but then after that, it was like she didn't want to sit down. Like she didn't want to sit down. She was up. I don't know if she was washing clothes or doing this. She was doing all this stuff, and here I am, I'm still over in the corner, looking like woe is me because I feel like crap. I'm happy she home, but I feel like crap. So now I'm jealous because she feeling great. And I'm like, man, because she done got all the legal cocktails in the hospital, the antibiotics and the steroids and remdesivir. She got a spot of remdesivir for my P1s out there. But so she got all the good stuff, and she got sent home with the good stuff. Putting that in the IV every day or the midline every day. Oh, and here I am. I'm still like, so it got to the point where she felt a whole lot better than I did for maybe 2 weeks after she got home. Now I slowly, I slowly started getting better, but like my bosses would ask me, everybody would ask how she's doing great. Like she's doing better than me for those that knew I had it, Mm-hmm. But yeah, ain't that crazy? Like I didn't have it as bad, but I guess I don't know. Yeah, I'm not complaining because I told her not to worry about me.
So the thing is, when I got home, I had been locked up for a minute. So all I wanted to do was come home. I wanted to cook a meal because I was eating turkey links in the morning time with my breakfast. They, they were turkey links and they looked like little turds. But all I wanted to do was come home, cook, and do something, do a service for my family. So when I came home, I was like, oh, we need to do laundry. So I sat there for a minute. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do some laundry. Well, all I gotta do is just put it in there and just let it be. So I went in there and I did the laundry. And then I wanted to cook. So I pulled up a chair to the island and I sat there and I had the kids help me and we cooked us a meal. And like those were the things that I wanted to do while I was at home. And little things as far as cleaning is concerned, because you know how you want your house. It's like, oh, you didn't. Do you see that spot? I see it, like clean this and clean that. And so I had the kids come down and clean, certain things for me, um, so that I could feel some sense of accomplishment because I just felt like I was just being useless and I had been idle for too long and my hands were idle hands. What they say about idle hands?
Keep going.
The devil's playground.
Well, I thought that was a mine.
I thought, oh, you
I
sure?
thought the idle mind of the devil's
Do y'all know what it is?
Idle hand,
Idle
the devil's
hands.
workshop. I don't know.
Well, anyway, some old people say something about idle hands, and so my hands were idle, and I needed something for my hands to do. So that's what I did. So, yeah, COVID story. We still here on the other side to tell the tale. As of now, we are doing great. Uh, Still have some moments where I have these spikes of energy, and then they just go real fast. Um,
I'm still trying to get back into my workout. I was doing great.
yes.
I was walking every morning. I was lifting on my lunch breaks, et cetera. And I got up to where I could actually do this is an accomplishment for me. It sounds weird.
What?
Accomplishment.
I heard that.
Anyway.
Okay.
An accomplishment for me. Like I got up to where I could do 20 push-ups at a time, without stopping, which is big for me, right? Carrying a lot of weight up there.
Mm-hmm.
And but I worked up the nerve. Maybe after I started feeling better, maybe about a week or two afterwards, I was like, okay, let me see. And I think I was able to push out 5. I was like, and then I was just wiped. So it's still a road back. I think I've only lifted twice since then. Can't do as much. You're winded and breathing still. It's trying to work back to where it needs to be, but we still here. We still able to work back to where we used to be. So we getting there. I just and my boys are doing workouts every day, Monday to Thursday at school, getting ready for the upcoming season. But I told them they're supposed to be doing 20 push-ups every day, every morning and every night. And I said, y'all got to hold each other accountable, right?
Right.
They ain't done jack for the past 2 months. Maybe a month or so.
They ain't even that many.
About an hour or so ago, Caleb, I was like, what you was up with them push-ups, man? He was like, you ain't even doing them. You ain't even doing them. I was like, let's hit them right now. Let's hit them right now. I said, because I hadn't done 20 in a row without stopping in 2-3 months, right?
You made it though.
It was a struggle. I got the 16 and them last 4.
Good doing it.
Thank you. Them last 4 was hellacious. And when I pushed that last one out, I set up and I got all this was hurting. It wasn't my chest. It was like so that's my scar, right, from my disc replacement. It was like right here. Like I don't know, all that was hurting. Like while I was breathing, while I was inhaling and breathing over it.
Sternoclavicular joints.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah, your SC joints.
Anyway, all that to say, yes. We here, we working back. I keep trying to get her up out the bed during my normal time to go walking.
Here's the thing.
I get rejected. But I'm supposed to wake her up.
I've never been a morning person. I've never been one to get up super early and be like, let's go work out. Yay. I've tried it. Have a nice good run. And then sleep say no. And I will choose sleep over anything. That has always been my choice. That has
You just got to get up.
Taking a nap was my hobby.
You just got to get up and move.
But
don't worry about what your body say. I've learned that because I used to try to sleep in it. Once your body say, once you get up and start
my body
moving,
said I need some rest. So getting up before 8 o'clock.
Your mind say.
Being that I don't have to be to work till later, getting up before 8 o'clock, that's illegal. My body said that's not right. And it would arrest me later and tell me to lay down. And I have to take a nap sometime during the day. But I have started doing my yoga again. So before bed, I make sure I do my stretches like 30 minutes or so. I haven't gotten back on the trail yet just because walking at work was a lot for me going back to work. And I just made a month, not even a month. Yeah, a month. I just made 30 days of being back at work. And so I was using the walker for the first 2.5 weeks. And this last week and a half, I kind of ditched the walker and started walking up and down the hallways and being able to pick up things and, do the regular things that you do, that I do. And, it's been good. It's been okay. I haven't had any issues. But when I get tired and I get winded, I have to sit down. And I'm trying to be mindful of that and not come back too fast because that I know that will relapse me. So trying to do things slow. So yoga is slow and easy on the joints, easy on the body. Plus when you stretch and you do this and you breathe in and you make you strengthening your lungs. Your lungs get strong. So I need strong lungs so I can, breathe and talk to y'all. And yell at my children who are out there having a blast. I don't know if y'all can hear them giggling.
That's because they just came home with food.
They are out there having a good old time. Oh, let's go join them. So it's family movie night. So we finna go watch a movie. Oh, y'all want to see Devon? Hold on, I'm gonna go get him. Can you say cheese? Cheese. Cheese.
Say hello. Look.
Let's say hi.
Look right there.
Say hi. Say hello.
Look right here. Look. You see?
There you are. Well, this is Devon, our grandbaby. And
say hello.
Hello. But anyway, y'all, we finna go. Make sure that you
like, comment,
and
or subscribe.
And subscribe. You got to do all three. All right. See y'all next time. We love you and we so happy.
He was clapping. Let him clap on his own.
Yay!
No diaper.
All right. Uh-oh, he got my pen. Bye.